Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy StumpD back for another OPTC video, and in today's video is the last Japan tier list that we will be doing for 2021, and probably the last Japan tier list we will be doing altogether for the Japanese side of the game over on One Piece Treasure Cruise. As of December 19th, or as of December New Year's, once we get all of these legends we're missing on Global, the games should be within synchronization process, and by the time we hit sort of like the end of January, we're probably going to have all the same legends on the same game, and I'm not going to be needing to do these two tier lists. I'll probably need to do one, as both games should have identical legends. But before we begin, as always, big shout out to the database for the images provided. If you guys want to check out my tier list, I did put this tier list together. Link will be in the description below for you guys if you guys want to head over there and suss out a tier list. It's got all the characters in there, all the legends anyway, for you guys, besides Kung Fu Luffy, who will be being removed from the game. So I'm not going to include him on the tier list on Japan. I might sort of slide him in on Global. We'll see what happens. I'm undecided what I want to do there. But as always, this is my personal tier list. It is my sort of guide from using these legends in the game. I have used all these legends in the game, and sort of my personal opinion on where I think they rank in terms of the big criteria that is usability. How useful is the legend? That is the biggest thing, right? How much do you want to use this legend? How much content can this legend clear? How strong is the legend? How fast is the legend? How good is their special? Their colors, their class, all of that comes into play when I do like ranking these legends. But just be mindful that this tier list obviously will change depending on content that does release around that time. As classes get better, like Cerebral gets better, Cerebral characters might fall higher on the list. As Sai gets better, Sai characters might fall higher on the list. But all in all, just be mindful that it is my personal tier list. And if you have any disagreements, please let me know in the comment section below. I really enjoy talking about this stuff. All opinions are valid. And even though if we disagree, don't be afraid to put it out there, as long as it is always done in a positive light. And while you're down there, don't forget to smash the like button if you're new to the channel. Hit that big red subscribe button too. But before we begin, we have 3 new legends to talk about. We do have the new dual units that are, we have Robin and Jinbe, we have Nami and Usopp, and we have Super Class Croc. But before we begin into that, let's take a look at the tiers. Let's take a look at where the other legends sit from last month, and let's see if we need to make any changes. So needs a 6+ or is Dookie. These characters already have a 6+ and suck, or need a 6+ real bad, like really, really bad. All these characters, they are fine here. Absolutely fine. Rare Recruit tier, this particular tier here, is built up around characters that are sort of like, can be replaced with Rare Recruit characters. Now, there's a lot of characters here that probably need a 6+, but can still hold viability. Stuff like V2 Shanks, Akainu, Kuzan. I do want to bring this Jinbe down, actually. This Jinbe, he's pretty dookie nowadays. Like, you're never really using this Jinbe, ever. The Whitebeard, Marco, honestly, like, their switchability is probably still pretty good. Probably argue that they can sit there fine. Jinbe is probably on Rare Recruit tier now. Luffy and Ace, honestly, they need a 6+. Like, they need a 6+ so badly. They're not even on Rare Recruit tier, because, like, some Rare Recruits give a higher than a 2x orb boost. So, like, definitely need a 6+. 2x attack boost, for, like, this Luffy. He's just been replaced, basically. I wouldn't say he's dookie, but, like, you're not ever going to use him as a Rare Recruit, like, ever. Like, it's just as simple as that. The rest of these characters, they're pretty fine here. Support. These characters here, you are basically only ever going to level up their support. They're going to sit in your box, and that's basically all they're going to be good for. Maybe Whitebeard's probably the exception there. Maybe Cracker's probably the exception there. But for the rest of them, like, they all just have good supports. Like, Hawkins being there is just, like, bleh to me, but whatever. Content on niche, and content requires a niche. These characters you're only using for particular types of content, like Jack for XP, Buggy for extra drops. And then the rest of these characters, their specials are just basically used in a way that sort of is only good for, like, remember that one time where this character was really good? That's basically when they're used. So, all these characters are pretty fine here. I don't really think that any characters need to move. They're absolutely fine. Solid hybrid options. There is one big one up here. So solid hybrid is like characters that you like to hybrid up with other really powerful legends, and that's pretty much all you really want to be using them for. There are some big changes that I do want to do here. We want to take this Blackbeard. Oh man, he's probably a solid hybrid. Like, let's be real. Like, as much as I don't like this Blackbeard, as much as he sucks, but he's a dual unit that wants to be a captain. Like, for me, he's just dookie, man. He is just straight up dookie. I've never used this Blackbeard. Or actually, no, we're gonna put him in niche when content requires because of Kazuna. In Super Boss Kazuna, he's a weapon. He's 10% HP cut, so definitely where content requires. 100% where content requires. The rest of these units, for solid hybrids, I feel like Halloween Ace nowadays has probably dropped off. His multipliers are really low. And I mainly use him for support. But, like, I do understand with special reverse, with special blind removal, that is really, really good. In A tier subs, these A tier subs are characters that are just, like, really good sub potentials. You use them quite a bit, but, like, they're not the be-all or end-all. They're all pretty good here. None of them need to be moved, I don't think. Yeah, they're all pretty fine here, honestly. Like, I'm pretty happy with all of the A tier subs. I was really happy with last month's Japan tier list. I don't think there's going to be many changes, to be honest. A tier captains. We have Koala, Odin. Yeah, all of these characters are absolutely fine as A tier captains. I guess maybe you could argue that, like, Carrot might move into sub because, like, you want to use her as a sub more than anything. With her 6+, like, 6+, she just got really, really good. Like, really, really good. S tier subs. All of these S tier subs are absolute weapons. I'm a big fan of the S tier sub tier list. No issues whatsoever here. I don't really think any changes need to be made. No. I think we're good. S tier captain, however, I definitely want to drop this one right here. Raiju. Raiju's going to be moving down to A tier captain. Like, for me, she's on par with, like, these characters here. Definitely on par with these characters here. Actually, character I do want to move down is Magellan. Magellan in A tier captain. I think Magellan nowadays is probably just a solid hybrid option. You're never really ever running 2 Magellans. Like, you're using for his paralysis removal. That's probably about it. Otherwise, like, he just like, whatever. Like, you don't really want to be running Magellan. Like, 2 Magellans. Like, 2 Kaidos, I could maybe make an argument for. But for me, like, I don't love Kaido. But I understand when Kaido works. Kaido works. Mainly for me, he's more of a sub. Like, I don't ever run him as a captain. But I did use him recently in Kazuna. So we will put him up there. As for the rest of the S tier captains, I think we're pretty good here. I feel like I'm going to move King up with Queen. I'm going to move King up with Queen because I put King on global and I use King so much. Like, the speed potential that King has, I love it. And honestly, like, compared to Queen, he's not that much difference. Queen just has, like, the benefit of being, like, just being a little bit better in my eyes. But I wouldn't say he's a whole tier better. Like, definitely not. As for Mr. Katakuri, I am going to drop Katakuri down here into S tier captain. I don't ever run Katakuri as a sub, ever. I only ever use him as a captain, and honestly, like, he's just not that amazing. Like, he's really not that good. That heal mechanic is, like, completely overrated in my eyes. He doesn't give orbs, doesn't do damage reduction, like, he's just, yeah. Honestly, like, V1 Katakuri in my eyes is just better. It's just better. I kind of want to move Zoro up. Like, this Zoro, lately, has just seen so much play for me with speed farming teams and stuff like that. I'm a big fan of this Zoro, like, a huge fan. But I feel like if I am using Zoro, I'm using him as a captain, right? The rest of the characters, I'm pretty happy with this. Page 1 ulti. I'm going to drop Page 1 ulti into S tier sub. I don't ever use Page 1 ulti as a captain, ever. Like, and you never need 2 of them, ever. But I guess you can because they're driven powerhouse. But the main reason you use these guys is in Kazuna. Like, they are the Kazuna kings. This, Page 1 ulti, Toki, and Sugar are the 3 best Kazuna legends in the game. Don't even at me. Let me know in the comment section below what you think are the best Kazuna legends. But other than that, like, they are only used as a sub. Like, that's basically all you use it for. Unless you don't have them, and then you bring them as a friend captain. But that's basically how it rolls with that good old Page 1 ulti. The rest of the characters, I'm pretty happy with. Let's have a look at this God tier here. This God tier, I feel like I want to bring Verse Whitebeard down. I don't think Verse Whitebeard's that much better than Verse Shanks anymore. Once, like, when they first released that, I just thought Verse Whitebeard was better. Purely because, like, Strikers needed Whitebeard more than, like, Slashers needed Shanks. Int needed Whitebeard more than, Sai needed Shanks, and vice versa. So, nowadays, I don't think they're that far apart. The big thing that differs them is Shanks' special, way better. Like, if you're talking specials, Shanks' special, definitely better. But if we're talking versatility, Whitebeard's is way better, because it always works. So I think they're pretty close to being on par. I just still think Whitebeard's a little bit better, but I don't think that much better. Big Mom, definitely still amazing. Law, definitely still amazing. Lucci, definitely still amazing. Lucci, you pretty much want to run Lucci as a captain if you can. But he's a base stat booster as well, which is just absolutely unparalleled. The rest of these characters up here in God tier definitely need to stay. Straw Hat Pirates, though. Kind of want to drop Straw Hat Pirates. I don't think Straw Hat Pirates are on the level that Vivi's on. I don't think Straw Hat Pirates are on the level that Fire Tank Pirates is on. I definitely don't think Straw Hat Pirates are on the level of Z's 2, or Dofi, or Kid. So I feel like Amazing's probably the better spot for him. I get they're a Rainbow Captain. Their special is one of the best specials in the game. Do not get me wrong. But they're just a bit of a low multiplier to your crew. Like, that's the big downside. They're rainbow type, which is great, but I do find team building them can be a little bit tricky. Like, can be a little bit tricky. The top tier list, the top 5, they're definitely not changing. If I'm talking top 5, this is my top 5. Exactly in this order. That is how I look at my top 5. Roger, the best character in the game. Yamato's, they're pretty much on par, but I do think the 6-star is... 6+ is better, but I think the 6-star is more valuable. Toki, and then Sabo versus Sabo and Ace. That's my top 5 on both versions of the game. It's as simple as that. These characters are unparalleled, and that tier will not be changing. A bit of a spoiler for you guys. Will not be changing. So, let's slide down here, and let's take a look at the new characters. So, the first character that did release was a Treasure Map Croc character. He is a Superclass Croc, as we all predicted. He's a Dex Superclass Croc, which is awesome. V2 Crocodiles finally in the game, and they did the boy some justice. This character is so good. So freaking good. He is a 5x captain to Cerebral, 3.5x 7.5 captain to everyone else. He gives 1.3 HP, and I think he makes Strength Orbs favorable. And then he has, in his kit, if you hit with color affinity, you get matching orbs for Cerebral characters. And if you're below 50%, he does a 2000 heal, which is just absolutely monstrous. His special is a Chain Boundary special starting at 3.0, going up to 40 times for 3 turns, provided you've used his special once in the quest. The special counter is at 1, or you are below 50% HP. He also gives a 2.5 times attack boost to Cerebrals as well. And then his super class, which is like if you have Vivi, Robin, any of the Baroque Rex units, or you're below 50% HP, which you can use stuff like the, what's that ship called? The Moby Dick. If you use the Moby Dick, you start with his super type, or super class, sorry. If you use his super class, it makes his HP values unvalid and sets his special counter to 1. He does a whole bunch of damage. It rotates block orbs. And on entry to stages as a captain as well, Croc will also do a 10% HP cut. He does so much. He's so tanky. He has healing. He has good attack multipliers. He's Cerebral, so he has a very, very good class. He has a very good super class as well, which can therefore trigger all of his kit, and it works really, really nicely. His special gives so much damage that it's absolutely ridiculous what this character can do. And for that reason, we're going to slide him straight up into God tier. He is so close to being on the cusp of broken that, like, it's not even funny. The reason that he's not on broken is because of the 3.75 to every other class. If they had something else in their kit, like they were like 5 times captain to, say for example, 5 times captain to Cerebral, and then it was like 5 times captain to Dex, and a 5 times captain to Quick, or a 5 times captain to Strength. For me, like, he would be up there in broken. Like, he would be so close to that broken tier, it's not even funny. Cerebral is so damn good. His special is so damn powerful. He has an array of very good subs. Like, you've got this Vivi, is like his best friend, because, like, you just trigger the super class. You then have an orb booster for the team as well for 3 turns with 2 Crocs. You have your attack and your chain boundaries. You have Law. Law's another really good Cerebral character. You slide down the list here. You have V2 Shirahoshi Mancherry. You have Sanji Pudding. Oh, another actually change that I wanted to make. I actually wanted to drop Germa into A tier sub. I really just don't use Germa that much anymore. Sorry about that. Apologies. Bit of a tangent. You have V1 Vivi Rebecca. You have Chopper. You have Pudding. You have Shanks Crew. Like, the amount of subs you have for Cerebral is just so crazy that this character shines. Absolutely shines. Now, he may be a product of the Cerebral environment, but even still, for a V2 Crocodile, they did this man justice. He is so damn good, and I'm a huge fan. I do like Dofi more, but in terms of power, I think Crocodile has him beat. Like, I definitely think Crocodile has him beat, but I do prefer running Dofi. Dofi's probably my favorite legend in the game at the moment. But, nevertheless, Croc is not that far behind, honestly. Like, he's really, really close to being, like, not far behind him. So that's Croc. He's a god tier unit. Be all, end all. That's what he is. Let's move down to the next 2 characters, and these 2 characters were pretty interesting. So these 2 characters kind of came out of nowhere. We have the Nami and the Usopp, and the Robin and the Jinbe. Both of them are Super Switch characters, and both of them seem to be in a bit of a lead-up towards, like, Christmas and New Year's, because, like, we're getting a lot of Straw Hat fiasco going on here. Something fishy going on, Bandai. I'm on to you. There's been a lot of Straw Hat shenanigans here. So let's see what these characters do. So, Nami, Usopp, they're built around the delay mechanic. Very similar to Basil Hawkins, very similar to V1 Katakuri, where they extend the counter in their dual form to add an extra turn, and if you do over a certain amount of damage, they actually have a guaranteed delay. At 5 million damage, they will guarantee you a delay against the enemy no matter what. As a captain, Nami's a 4.25 times captain to Cerebrals, Free Spirits, and I'm pretty sure it's Shooters? Shooters? I want to say Shooters. Free Spirit, Cerebral, Shooters, where the Usopp is a 3.75 times attack boost to those 3 classes, but also gives a 1.2 times built-in conditional boost against delayed enemies. So the idea of this character is you want to use Nami, have a big damage output, switch into Usopp, then get the delay, and then get the extra conditional through Usopp. They're a strength and a psi character. Their switch ability will completely remove paralysis on themselves and special binds, and then their special removes special bind and paralysis by 6 turns as well. So pretty nice special, as well as increasing the conditional boost against delays by 0.3 and doing a 2.25 color affinity boost to those 3 classes. So they have a pretty nice special. Nothing too crazy. Their captain ability is very intricate and is very tricky to actually use. But their switch and their super switch is something else to be admired. They remove 1 turn of bind and despair, and with their super switch, they remove 2 turns of bind and despair. They give you a full board of orbs on their super switch, adjacent orbs, they give adjacent orbs on their super switch, and an orb on themselves on their regular switch. So they are a fairly decent unit. They have a lot of good supports because it's a Nami character, which is really, really nice. But as a captain, they are really, really finicky to use. Like, really, really finicky. You definitely can use them as a captain, but building teams around them is pretty challenging. Now, they do have Free Spirit. They do have Cerebral. So you can do some shenanigans with this guy right here and build some Cerebral teams. Bring this guy as like a friend captain to get that extra damage here with Croc. And then like have that delay mechanic sort of popping off. But in saying that too, it's not something that you will be using a lot. Like, it's definitely not. The downside is like the color affinity in their special kind of like hinders them. But they remove paralysis, they also remove special blind, and they are a conditional booster, which can be kind of nice if you need that extra damage. Because in their dual form, they have like a 5.2 something captain. If you can get that damage off, get the condition, and then have that 2 times conditional boost, like 2.3, sorry, it can do some crazy, crazy things. Like, absolutely crazy. Their super switch removes 2 turns of bind and despair. So I think I want to slap them in S tier sub for now. Just for now. I don't know if like they'll stay there for that long, but because of the content sort of built around them at the moment, they're definitely finding their way into S tier sub because they're just really, really good at the moment. They're amazing for the new arena. The new arena was sort of built for them, but they're absolutely incredible for that. And with that, like, I think S tier sub is probably the only place to put them because I do think they're a lot better than like most of these other characters down here. Like, worst case scenario, I guess we could slide them down here into A tier sub because they are so finicky. But like, at the moment, I do think that they are sort of holding their own up here in S tier sub, but I feel like they're probably going to drop off pretty quickly, and they are going to find themselves into A tier sub as content progresses, as sort of Raiju did, like with her captain. I thought she was S tier captain, but as we saw less and less of those poison mechanics, we didn't really see too much of Raiju anymore. So I think I'll slide them into A tier sub. If content persists, and we get more paralysis, we get more special bind stuff, we will move them up, but to me, they're kind of like very similar to like the V2 Vivi Rebecca, like this character here, but with like less damage output potential. These characters here, like they seem very similar to me, because once you get their condition, they do a lot of damage, right? Like they do a lot of damage. Their switch ability is basically identical, removing that special bind sort of stuff, and then you can remove special bind with their special. But other than that, like color affinity is just not that prevalent. The VV2 record gives an attack and an orb boost, which is, like, in my eyes, is just better. So if I'm going to have V2 V Rebecca down here, I think I'm going to put Nami and Usopp down here as well. Pretty cool, like, intricate unit, and I do like what they're doing, but I just don't think they're that amazing. I really don't. On to Robin and Jinbe now. Robin and Jinbe are, out of the two in my eyes, and even, like, talking on paper, way, way better. So this particular character is a 4.5 times fighter and cerebral-based captain. So the 2 classes, Cerebral, once again, Cerebral getting more support. You love to see it. 4.5 no matter who you are, Robin or Jinbe. Doesn't matter. They give a 1.5 times HP boost when you're Jinbe, and you get a 1.5 times recovery boost when you are, I think, is it a 1.5 times recovery boost when you're Robin? I think when you're Robin, you get the recovery boost, and when you're Jinbe, you get the HP boost. When you are Robin, you make into orbs matching or dex orbs matching, and when you're Jinbe, you make dex and int. One of them has dex, one of them has int. I do know that for certain. Jinbe also has 10% damage reduction in his kit. Or actually, no, they both give HP, and then Robin gives a recovery boost, and Jinbe gives 10% damage reduction. That's right. That's how they work. In their captain ability, they state once the quest starts, they trigger a 99 turn of a 60% threshold cut of damage taken for 99 turns. So when you start the quest as either Robin or Jinbe, you get the threshold boundary on yourself to reduce damage by 60% for 99 turns, which is just absolutely massive. Very, very good tanking potential. Very good healing when you get recovery orbs. Very, very nice. Their special removes 6 turns of damage reduction, 6 turns of threshold, gives you a 1000 flat rate based stat boost, and I'm pretty sure that's it. I might be missing something with their special. Alright, so I quickly did a bit of a check. I just totally forgot about the last part of Robin and Jinbe's special. They remove 6 turns of attack down, and they also give 2 turns of cooldown. So, very, very good sub potential. Really, really good for speed farming teams, provided you can get their special, obviously. Very, very good for removing 2 types of defensive effects for 6 turns and attack down, which is awesome. They got very good tanking, and as a captain, and they have Cerebral, which is just awesome. Their switch ability, though, makes adjacent orbs matching and gives you a 15% damage reduction buff as well. So when they're captain, you have the 60% threshold. You switch, you also get damage reduction, which is the rainbow shield, which is really, really nice. And then with their super switch, they give you a full board of orbs and a 70% damage reduction, which is really, really, really nice. Very, very good tanking. You're not really going to see this character played too much as a captain, but you definitely can, especially if you're hybriding them up with something like Croc. You get the super class with Croc because you're using Robin. It just works really, really nicely. But having 1000 base stat boost unparalleled is basically what Cerebral needed. If they were just for Cerebral, it makes them a little bit worse, but they're for all characters. 1000 base stat boost for all characters is absolutely awesome. And they have a pretty good super switch, which is going to see a little bit of play, helping you guys tank damage, or they're just with their regular switch, sorry, as well as making adjacent orbs matching. If you partner them up with this guy, you've got offense, you've got defense, and you've got a full board of orbs every time when you switch. Absolutely massive. The 1000 base stats is what gets them over the line for me. Very, very good offensive power, great utility, cooldown, defensive capabilities as well with their captain ability, which is awesome, as well as their switch ability. They are definitely an S tier sub in my eyes. I can't see them being lower than anyone else in this tier. Like, 6 turns of attack down is awesome as well. Also removing the defensive effects as well. Like, you can use their special in so many different ways. And the 1000 base stats is just always going to be viable. It's just always going to be very, very nice. Like, just base stat boosts, they're just awesome. But that's going to wrap up the tier list. The final tier list for 2021 for the Japanese side of the game. And possibly, probably, the final tier list for Japan all in all. As always, I will leave at the end of the video what the tier list actually looks like in a picture for you guys if you guys want to scroll to the end there and have a look. It will be very, very small, but look, that's on you for not sitting through the whole video. But if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to go down there and belt the like button for me if you're new to the channel. Hit the big red subscribe button too. But guys, wherever you are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, I thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Let's